So I want to give a huge shout out first and foremost to Bounty Comics for covering this, because this is a fantastic article, really eye-opening and very truthful. We've been saying for a while that Hollywood definitely has agendas, that Disney has agendas, that all these companies are pushing for political narratives, for identity politics, and all this type of stuff, and it's becoming more and more a reality. It's becoming more and more exposed by the day, and Hollywood's getting to the point where they're just flat out admitting that we have agendas. So it's not really a secret anymore, but there is definitely a lot of proof that's talked about in this article here by Bounty Comics, by John Trent, that we're going to be jumping into, because this is some really, really fascinating stuff, and honestly kind of terrifying. Not like I'm scared or anything like that, but it's just like, this is terrifying because this is completely bankrupting storytelling in Hollywood, and it's disgusting. So let's go ahead and get into this article here. So YouTuber Jonathan Peg, I'm gonna say Peg, I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm just gonna go with that, exposes propaganda in superhero films with focus on Wonder Woman and Mad Max Fury Road. YouTuber Jonathan Peg exposes Hollywood propaganda in superhero films, and specifically points to the trope of replacing the masculine hero with a feminine one. Peg states, "It's not just that there are more lead feminine characters in stories, which could have been an opportunity for good storytelling, but it is the very act of supplanting and replacing which is often shown as a story trope," which is 100% true. This is 100% true. He gets into it in this article here, and we're going to be reading most of this here, but this is the trend of Hollywood, where instead of trying to create new stories for women, instead of trying to create new characters and all that type of stuff, they're instead just continuing to give women already established male characters. And that is a problem. We've addressed it many times here on Geeks and Gamers. I've addressed it many times on my personal channel as well. And I know that most of you guys are aware of this. But we're going to, let's go ahead and see what specifically Jonathan has to say in this. So in his video, Peg details a pattern seen in a number of Hollywood films on how this trope is being used. He points to how films that previously had a male-dominated cast, like Ghostbusters and Ocean's 11, are being remade with female-dominated casts, like the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot and Ocean's 8. However, he also notes that this trope is also seen as a pattern within the stories themselves. He specifically references Bill Murray's character getting dragged out a window in the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot. He then goes on to point out how female characters become the successors of their male characters. He points to Logan as a strange play on the masculine virtue of wanting to save others, though now the male character sacrifices himself in order to make way for a feminine character, which replaces him. He notes this same trope is seen in Blade Runner 2049 as well. There's also Kay in Blade Runner 2049 giving up his place as the son to make room for the daughter. He also notes that this trope can be seen when the masculine character will be humiliated and made to look useless, which is a high story trope that's being used in Hollywood. They use this all the time. He points to Moana in The Last Jedi in this case. Peg then notes there are several occasions where the masculine character will get out of the way to make place for a female replacement. On this point, Peg points to Mad Max Fury Road, where Max steps down off the ascending elevator where they replace Immortan Joe. Peg details these scenes show the raw power play that is happening in the cultural narrative. It's not about parody, about quality, and all of those virtues. Rather, the current social move appears as revolutionary. It's about inverting the traditional hierarchy, putting it upside down. And this is 100% true. This is 100% true. If you know anything about Marx, then you would know that this is a huge thing that he was pushing, and he wanted to push this through entertainment, through the Hollywood system. And, this, it's not just him, it's just like, this is a current common theme that is being seen more and more in Hollywood and in certain political spectrums, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible because it isn't doing anyone a service. It's not doing women a service, and it's not doing men a service. It is creating chaos, and it is going to continually destroy the fabric of society as we know it. So he then criticized the idea of women simply filling the role of masculine social tropes. It might not be as much an elevation of the feminine that we are seeing, but rather a blind attachment to masculine qualities as the ones that truly matter, as if being on top, as if being physically strong, a warrior, and a leader is somehow more virtuous than beauty, than the caring and intimate connections of a private realm. And this is true as well, you know? I mean, it's no secret that our culture is continually creating more and more soy boys, more and more men who aren't being men, more and more men who aren't being masculine, you know? And they want men to become more feminine, and they want women to become more masculine. And this is a huge problem in our culture. This is a huge, huge problem in our culture. Because men are supposed to be masculine. That is how we are created. We're supposed to be masculine, and women are supposed to be feminine. You know, it's not just a social thing. You know, it's in our DNA. It's who we are. And you know, I'm not saying that women can't be strong. I'm not saying that women can't be badass. But it's proven to become more and more of a thing where women are just becoming more masculine. And, you know, there's a difference between becoming masculine and being strong and badass. And there's, you know, I could go on about this forever because this is a huge problem for me and what I see in our country and stuff. But I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying here. So Peg specifically points to one scene in Wonder Woman that encapsulates the structure most succinctly. He describes the scene where Wonder Woman and her team fight to defend a small village that has been taken over by German forces. However, a long sniper remains at the top of a church tower. Peg notes this image is a form of tyrannical masculine power. He then describes the fact that Wonder Woman's sniper Charlie is unable to take a shot at the sniper. Peg describes his inability to fire as a form of male impotence. In order to solve the problem, Steve Trevor instructs the team to lift up a steel shield in order to give Wonder Woman a boost into the tower. He says that this propping up of Wonder Woman was unnecessary. We had already seen Wonder Woman leap up at least that high and escalate stone buildings, but it was important that the men lift her up, just as it was important to have that escalating platform in Mad Max to show the ascent in order to establish the new hierarchy. In the village scene, we can now easily understand the importance of the church tower, as Wonder Woman, the goddess but also the god killer, leaps up and destroys this masculine symbol of power, of tradition, of Christianity, only then to appear in the rubble above the villagers, replacing the tower itself in order to receive the praise of the villagers. Now, you know, personally, I think he might be looking a little bit too much into this scene here. You know, but he does make some good points. You know, I'm not going to say that is 100% fact, that is 100% what they were trying to do. But, you know, he does make some good points. Like I said, I don't know if I necessarily agree with him here. You know, I don't know if that's exactly what they're trying to say, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. He continues to note this type of symbolism is seen throughout the film, with Wonder Woman eventually taking on the symbol of the cross and smiting Ares, the god of war. Now, I don't. It's been a while since I've seen Wonder Woman, so I don't remember exactly what he's talking about here with the symbol of the cross and stuff. But you know, I'm not gonna really jump too much more into that because I just don't remember that part. Peg goes on to warn about only seeing these films through political lenses. We have to be careful not to reduce our vision to polemics. We cannot not reduce the movies to this trope. We must not be blinded by politics. We always need to stay clear-headed enough to see the symbolic patterns appear where they appear. And, you know, this is something that I mentioned before as well, you know. Hollywood is becoming more and more obsessed with, you know, political agendas rather than morals in their movies. It's getting to the point where they're replacing morals with political agendas, with identity politics, with woke points. And woke points aren't moral, political agendas aren't moral, and identity politics aren't moral. But this is what Hollywood is replacing morals in movies with, and that's something that we need to call out Hollywood on as well. You know, of course, we all know that Hollywood is completely morally bankrupt. So I don't really expect Hollywood to do a great job with, you know, morals in movies, but they need to at least, you know, try to get back to a point where they're focusing more on that over political agendas. And that's something that I'm going to continue to call Hollywood out on. So, and you know, that's something that we need to be aware of as well. However, he then states, we also need to see the pattern. The recurring pattern is not only significant, but is often quite deliberate and being cheered by certain factors of the political sphere. Peg continues, those of us who look for symbolic patterns, we should all pay attention to this trope. This sign of the times shows every sign of being on an accelerating ascent. So, you know, I don't know if I necessarily agree with everything that he says here, but he makes a lot of really good points, and he's laying out the truth. He's 100% laying out the truth of what's happening in Hollywood, our culture, and you know, it's not good. It is not good. This is a dangerous time. This is a pretty slippery slope, and there needs to be. We need to continually call out Hollywood for this. We need to continually call out Hollywood for this, because if we don't, then we're just gonna continue to plummet. So, with that being said, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about what Jonathan Peg is saying in his video here? Thank you for the analysis of this, John Trent from Bounding Into Comics. I really do appreciate that. Go check out Bounding Into Comics if you guys got some time for that. Hopefully I didn't butcher your last name. I probably did though. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.